Well, good afternoon. I'm doing something that I said I would not ever do. In fact, two things. Number one, I am on the way to the ABR festival. Now, it's very strange because in the past I've said, oh, I'm not really interested in, I'd sooner have a week of riding than go into a festival. And number two, I said I'd never camp, my age and doesn't interest me. But tents on the back of the bike and all the camping equipment cost me a fortune, by the way. And were they to the ABR, and I went to Fowler's in Bristol this morning, so I left Poole at about 6 this morning in the rain. We went to Fowler's. There's a pre-arranged sort of little meet there. They supplied coffee and bacon butties, and they have taken us on a lovely little tour around the Cotswolds, which is what we're still on now. We have lost a couple from the group. It's always difficult, I know, especially when you get into a bit of a built-up area. We've seen some beautiful places. I should have put this on before, but when is the right time to switch your camera on, and when you're travelling it's difficult. So if something else interesting appears, I will try and switch it on. If not, I will switch it on when we get to the Ragley Hall, and we'll catch up with you in a little bit. So the guys, those that need fuel, just doing their last fill before we go into Ragley. It's just down the road here. ABR Festival. We're nearly there. Well, as promised, the check-in staff were really cheery and helpful, lovely people. It was a great start to the festival. But now it's when the true scale of the festival site began to sort of dawn upon me. I thought that literally we'll be leaving a check-in and then the next minute there's the camping fields. But no, you've got this quite a long driveway. All the flags are out, so you start getting that build up of anticipation, and just wondering, well, what's the campsite going to be like? So, yeah, it was a bit of a surprise of how long this bit actually took to get to the actual campsite from checking in. Yeah, amazing, really. So at this point, I'm riding around rather aimlessly, looking for the perfect pitch. I stupidly thought, oh, I'll get something up by the edge of the field, sort of against some trees. But no, they were all gone very, very early in the day. I later believe it was they're the honeypot, the gold dust pitches. So all along the perimeters are absolutely full. So there was no chance there. So, like I say, I'm just driving around rather aimlessly. Really didn't have a clue where to go. But I thought, well, we'll get close-ish to toilets, given my age and all that. And so I went up and around a few times before I found, well, what turned out to be actually quite a nice little pitch. It wasn't too far away from the arena. It wasn't too far away from the toilets, but it would have been nicer to have some toilets up at this end of the field and also a water pipe. That would have been really, really useful. Because again, it was a little bit awkward, trying to go to the toilet, quite a long walk. But, it is what it is. It's a festival, and at least the toilets were tidy, up together, clean. So, yeah, I couldn't really make any comments to, being the toilets being poor. They were good. It was good. It was very, very good. But just a few more and some taps up there would have been absolutely brilliant. So if you're watching this ABR festival organisers, yeah, there's one for the future. And that was me set up in my Gobi 3, which was ever so easy to put up. And I'd never really been camping before. So we had T-Rex to see on that night that I went to see. They were really good. Can't play the music because, unfortunately, you know what copyright is and YouTube. But no, they were good. So I explored the beer tent, huge big thing. There was the Oasis tribute, so it was a lot easier to get to than going to see the real thing, and probably sounded better as well. But no, in fairness, they were really good. I was quite impressed with them. I'm not a huge Oasis fan, but you know what it's like. You have a few beers down here, a few ciders down here, a few JD and Cokes, of course, and yeah, it was all right. Yeah, I was quite impressed with it, really. The boys done well. Had a little bit of banter in between things, so yeah, that was really, really good. But the real piece de la resistance was Ben Portsmouth as Elvis. My wife is a huge Elvis fan and quite a purist in Elvis songs. And like I tried to explain to her, he was a good entertainer. He's not just an impersonator, he was an entertainer. And what was a great thing with him is he'd done his research and he'd done a few jokes that were related to the ABR. And yeah, he went down an absolute storm. So we go into Friday. I had a dreadful night's sleep, couple of hours. It was hot. But I thought I'm going to get up and I'm going to get and do the Bridgestone Trail. Didn't know what the hell I was letting myself in for. But here we are. You'll see what it was. Okay, so this morning we're off to ride the Bridgestone Trail. If I can find it, of course. Hi, by the way. Yeah, fine. Just crack on, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Oh yeah. I haven't done this before, so just crack on, do we?
Beginner's trail is straight ahead and normal trail's to the right.
Oh, I see. Right, okay, so I'll try that one first then. Alright. Right, so we'll try the beginner's trail to start with, get warmed up. So I'm here thinking, God, that was easy, dead flat. Obviously that's what the rest of it's going to be like, probably a little bit harder, but I was in for a little bit of a shock actually. So yeah, those that are first time, the beginner's track is absolutely nothing like the main Bridgestone Trail, just to let you know. Well, I think we're sufficiently warmed up. Nice bit of sand. I think we'll do expert. Well, ended up on the expert section. I didn't mean to, but it wasn't that bad. Oh, tires my old legs out. Ready?
past where
Okay.
it's got to be done.
Well, after the disappointment of the trail, I came back to the tent. I completely flaked out. I was massively dehydrated. I should have taken water with me. So I thought I'd have a rest and get ready for the evening's entertainment, which turned out to be absolutely superb. So we had Guns to Roses, and if anybody's seen Guns N' Roses recently, poor Axel is struggling with his voice, and these guys absolutely nailed it. I actually believe it, they're better than seeing what Guns N' Roses are now. And then, of course, we had the AC/DC tribute, and again, they were brilliant. The guy that was the Angus was absolutely superb, complete entertainer. Singer was great, although I think Dirty DC, they've got a slightly better Brian Johnson, but it doesn't matter. I'd had a few ciders, I'd had a few beers, and a few Jack Daniels and Cokes, and they absolutely were brilliant fun. And again, they really got into the spirit of what the festival was all about. So I staggered back on a very hot and sweaty night into a hot and sweaty, quite uncomfortable tent, and I'd already made my mind up that the Saturday was going to be spent just in the arena. I wasn't going to do any test rides. It was too hot for queuing up with bike gear and all that. So I was just going to spend a day in the arena, see as much as I possibly could, and try and experience the stuff in the arena. So today was rest day. I didn't really take any filming equipment with me, just my camera and the phone, because I just didn't think I'd be filming anything. So it was just having a look around the traders and the stalls. I didn't make it up to the house because it was so hot, but there was plenty of things to see and do around the Roll Arena, and plenty of food stalls and drink stalls as well. So that was really good. I was conscious that there was a few people and speakers that I actually wanted to see, and it was trying to work out the timings to actually get that done. I definitely wanted to see Rich and Eva from On the Road, and obviously Norley, Schumacher, Itchy Boots. So of course the tents are absolutely rammed and the sun is beating down, and it's very difficult to get a bit of shade, but you know, it was we done our best, and I should have got there earlier. So we watched a few of the speakers. I was really pleased to see Rich and Eva. I'd actually saw them the day before getting water, funny enough, and Eva sent my wife Lorraine a really nice little message.
Hello Lorraine, this is Eva from On the Road Adventure. Rich is over there busy. But I just wanted to say I wish you were here, and I hope we see you next year maybe. Love you, bye.
So it's a real honour to see Norley Schumacher, Itchy Boots, after watching, you know, so many of her trips. You know, what a charismatic person she really was. Treated like a rock star. Nutcase Austin Vince, he was on the TOF stand, always entertaining, and but you know, what a great guy. Then it was over to the GoPro arena, right the other side. I didn't even know where it was. I missed out on so much of this stuff going on, and there wasn't enough room. It's quite a small area to watch this, which is a bit of a shame. I don't know if they need to extend it a little bit, but you know, you could have spent hours there, and I wish I did spend longer. And then all of a sudden, it was the evening came. Queen were playing, or a Queen tribute. I was absolutely shattered. I went back for a sleep. In the morning, wake up, it's time to go home. That was it. ABR over. And I just thought to myself, now what do I do? You know, I didn't really enjoy the whole camping thing, but ABR did make it easier. And I got home, and when I had the email come through saying early bird tickets, I went and booked them. So I will be there next year, but hopefully I may have a better style of tent, something I can stand up in. Hope you enjoyed this, everybody, and if you did, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the road again. Thank you.